Virgin Voyages, Alaska. I'm really excited about this video because I love planning travel, and we are about to walk through how I'm looking at my Alaska trip and the helpful tips that I think you will find a lot of value in, because I'm listening to your questions and I'm like, oh man, we all hate the app. Let's just be honest about that. So let's use the website, and I want to show you how I'm planning my trip, how I'm looking at the excursions, and then we'll look at some additional info in the app. We'll hear from Nirmal, the CEO, about his take on Alaska, and so much more coming up. And if you're new here, ahoy, I'm Christine Lozada. Book your Virgin Voyages cruise with us. It's the best way to support this channel, and even if you've already booked, be a smart traveler. Just takes 1 minute to price compare with us to make sure you're getting a great deal and being a smart traveler. Let's dive straight in, on my laptop. All right, let's jump onto the website for Virgin Voyages, because a lot of people don't realize that you can manage your trip from the website and not just the app. And so I've logged in to my account on Virgin Voyages, and I'm able to look at my voyage here. And when I click on my voyage, that's where it takes you to what the entire itinerary looks like. And there's a couple things on here I want to point out. So I'm going to be walking you through the Brilliant Lady Mermaiden for Seattle. That's the first Alaska sailing that she has. And one of the things that's helpful to know, because a lot of people ask, like, oh my gosh, I don't know what time we're at port at. Like, what days are we at port and what time? It's all on here. So it's showing you, right, 9 a.m. you're arriving into port, 5 p.m. is when the ship departs. This is helpful to know. And it's also helpful so that when you're planning, right, your dining, you know which days are your cruising days or your sea days. And that's how, maybe that's the day you're doing brunch, or maybe that's the day you're doing a longer dinner, like test kitchen, for example. But being able to see this view kind of gives you that top level before you start diving into things. I'm going to take you back to the homepage, because when you scroll down, there's something in here I want you to look at. There's this get ready for embarkation. And there's a few things in there that a lot of people miss. So one of them is the location of where you're embarking on your sailing. And so having the address here so that people aren't like, where is it going out of? Because a lot of people, right, they will ask like, is it this one, or is it this one, or is it this one? And it's in here, it's in here. And it's also important, right? Especially for some of the ports, like Puerto Rico is an example, where sometimes they'll kind of flip-flop between two ports that are right close to each other, but still an Uber right away from each other. But it's helpful to make sure you're checking one more time before you literally go to the port. So I'm checking now. I'm going to add this to my Google Maps, this address, and then separately, once I arrive into Seattle, I'm going to check the app again just to make sure nothing's changed and I'm good to go. But this is where you can find your port location. Another thing that's helpful to know is this luggage drop info. So many people ask, right? Well, I want to go explore Seattle. Like, what time can I drop off my luggage at? Like, can I drop it off and then go explore and come back later? And the answer is yes. And every port is different, right? And so specifically for Seattle, it's saying anytime after 9 a.m., go drop off your luggage, then go explore. I will definitely be playing pickleball in Seattle. I'm so excited. Also, there's something I lied about earlier when I took you through the whole like my voyage thingy. That was because I brought you through view your voyage itinerary, just letting you know, my bad. Let's jump to this next part, which is my day. And one thing to know about my day is that this is where you can see, right, for each day of your sailing, what you've booked for. I didn't book any dining this day. I booked dining the first day, right? Ooh, pink agave. Ugh, so excited for that steak. But it will show you day by day what you have on your itinerary so far. More info, right? Okay, on the Ketchikan day, we arrive at 9, but the gangway doesn't open till 9:30, right? And that's helpful to know for my itinerary. And then we're departing at 5 p.m. So that's just one more additional way you can look at your itinerary that you may not know about. And it's also helpful to know because at the top, it's telling you, that day is a port day versus this day is your inside passage cruising day. I should probably move this dinner up earlier. Maybe not. Maybe I'll add so this is helpful because I'm like, it's a cruising day. I should do a Razzle Dazzle brunch, Rojo by Razzle Dazzle brunch, since I'm doing the wake for dinner. So I'm not doing a wake brunch and a wake dinner, although it doesn't really seem like a problem in my opinion. but it's just helpful to know that you have this kind of daily view to be able to see your itinerary when the gangway opens versus when you arrive, et cetera, et cetera. So let's jump into discover and then actually look through some of the shore things, because I know a lot of you are here today because you're like, oh, what kinds of shore things are being offered? And there's something I was really surprised by when I saw the latest shore things. And actually really quick, I just want to share one thing that's important to know is that shore things are being added all the time. And so a lot of people will book their shore things and then notice a lot of them are sold out and they're like, oh my gosh, I really wanted to do fill in the blank shore thing and it's not available anymore. But I booked a lot of my shore things about 1 month ago and I'm sailing in about 1 month. And now that I'm logging in today, I'm like, oh, whoa, like there's a bunch of new things in there that weren't there a month ago. And so it's just helpful to know that a couple things. One, things are generally added, not all the time, but it's helpful to keep checking. The second thing is things change. I might find out there's pickleball at one of these ports and I'm like, I'm gonna go play pickleball instead of, I don't know, well maybe. I might cancel out. And when I cancel out, someone can come and book it. And then things just change in general. So it's just helpful to know those things in case something you really wanted to do is no longer there. So let's jump into what the shore things look like for this itinerary. So the first true day that we're at port, right? Because we embark in Seattle, we're cruising the first day, and then we have Ketchikan, Alaska, and there's 50 shore things available. One thing that's newer for Virgin Voyages, not new, newer, is this ability to get a discount if you book it in advance. So they're trying to incentivize you, similar to other cruise lines, to be able to book in advance. And you can kind of see that there's all kinds of different adventures, right? From ones where you're just like sitting and watching to other ones that might be a little bit more active, right? Whether you're riding a UTV or you're going fishing, for example. So like, for example, this is new. I've booked this salmon adventure, but this other fishing one is new in there. That wasn't there when I had booked it before. And so when I looked at all the different kinds of things that you can do, I wanted to choose something that was a little bit more on the adventurous side. Something where I could be outside, not necessarily in a car, and one where I could kind of adventure and do something specific to Alaska, which is why I chose the salmon fishing. You can see that there's a good number of them that are sold out, but here's a great example. Like this lumberjack adventure, right? It's a little bit different than the one we saw above, which was just the show. This one has like both the rainforest walk and the trolley tour. And so it's a little bit of a combination of things, but they later added something additional to that, right? Which was just the show. And so there's different versions of these shore things. So it's also important to know that just because you're seeing something on my screen for Alaska, when you book your sailing, it might look slightly different, right? Shore things are not run by Virgin Voyages. Shore things are run by a third party that's being partnered with Virgin Voyages. So if you, like, for example, if you were to call customer service for Virgin Voyages, if you're calling sailor services, they probably wouldn't be able to answer specific questions about like, oh, like how many pounds of crab do I get to eat on this shore thing? They wouldn't be able to answer something like that, for example. Or maybe they can. You can fact check that one for me. But here's the shore thing that I chose, which is the Salmon Cove Adventure. And if you're looking at this and you're like, wait a minute, Christine, it's 9:30 a.m., but you arrive at 9 and you can't actually get off the ship until 9:30. This is part of the reason why I'm a big fan. You don't have to do it this way, but I'm a big fan of booking my shore things through Virgin Voyages. Because let's just pretend our cruising day was delayed for some reason and we didn't arrive until 10 a.m. If I didn't book through Virgin Voyages, I would miss this entire shore thing. But because it's booked through Virgin Voyages, this shore thing will wait for me, right? It will start when Virgin Voyages arrives. It's not going to start without me. The other thing is that even though it's at 9:30, it just means I need to be first off the ship. And then once everyone is there, we're going to go do it, right? Versus if you were doing things through a third party, like I love using Viator, for example. That's a great way to book and have other options for shore things, but it won't guarantee the timing for your ship. right? Sometimes they're delayed, sometimes they're not, sometimes they're early. Like it just, I've seen all kinds of things. I've sailed over 30 times with Virgin Voyages. But one thing I'm always doing is just kind of reading about the adventure, understanding the duration, and then seeing like what kinds of things they recommend that I need to know. Which for this one, I think I actually need to have, a sport fishing license. So I gotta go do that in advance before this one. But that's what I have booked for this port. Let's take it to the next port day, which is in Sitka, Alaska. And on this day, they have 29 shore excursions. And so as we kind of flip through this, like we have everything from kind of easy things with like a trail walk, or they have things for kayaking. They have like different cultured shows, etc. I'm like, what did I book this day? Let's go look. Ooh, this is what I picked. I picked the Coastal Expedition and Finn Island Lodge Feast. Here's one other helpful thing to know. The price that you see on here is per person, right? It's not like per cabin, because your cabin might have 4 people in it, especially if you're in that. JC and I toured a bunch of the rooms, and some of the shared rooms are a great way to save and get some value on your sailing. But these are per person, so $285 per person. We'll come back and read that in just a minute. But they have some other experiences like this is newly added. I wanted to see bears. Maybe I should be seeing, oh man, this is actually kind of hard. All right, now I'm getting sidetracked. All right, so there's bear stuff on here now that I'm now second guessing myself. But one thing that did, and I don't want to be like, oh yay, like things will come back. Like this sold out immediately. This whole snorkeling through the sound, that sounds awful, but I really want to do it. It sounds really neat, right? To be snorkeling through there. It's gonna be freezing, but this sold out immediately and it has stayed sold out. I'm not expecting someone to cancel out of that, or maybe someone will chicken out. But I'm keeping my eye on that, because if that opens up, I'm gonna switch over to snorkeling. I just think that's really unique. If you've been watching this channel, you know I hate cold things and I hate cold water, but that is something I would absolutely do. But I chose this Coastal Expedition with a lodge feast, which sounds fun. So this is at 10:30, and it goes, one thing that's always helpful for me, I'm like, how long is this thing? It's about 4 hours, and you're basically going around on a boat and then eating a bunch of things. So super excited for that. And I'm going to make sure I'm doing kind of this read through on everything I need to know for that. Let's go through the last one, because we have a cruising day and then we have the disembarkation day. So the last day is Prince Rupert. And on this day, there's only 17 shore excursions. And this is also one, right? You don't have to have a shore excursion at every single port, right? You might want to rest and be on vacation for a day, or play it by ear. There's plenty of times where I will show up at a place and just be like, I don't know, what might I want to do today? And then I'll figure it out from there. I am going to show you in the app a few more helpful tips, because one thing that's really helpful is to know where at port you're at address wise, so you can understand, like, are you walking distance from things? And there are different ways that I might use Google Maps, for example, on satellite, that helps me to kind of identify what kinds of options I might have, versus being like, ooh, this is pretty secluded, I should probably book a shore thing. But on this day in where are we? In Prince Rupert, they have all kinds of food and adventurous things. On this day, I chose a rainforest walk and a waterfront kayak tour. Also, you're seeing these things. I'm gonna be totally transparent. It's not cheap. The actual Alaska sailings, some of them are very affordable, the actual sailing itself, but I have really racked up a bill on a lot of these shore things, right? Like we're talking, $500 a pop every time I'm at port, and that's 3 days. And then I'm on 2 sailings. I'm on a back-to-back sailing, so it's not inexpensive. So this is what this one looks like. And then you can see what's sold out. There are also some sold out items that are in here. Like this one I was looking at, like how cool would it be to be on this like grizzly bear expedition? That sounds rad. That one sold out immediately. But these are ones where, especially if you're going somewhere you really care about, it's one you might want to consider booking in advance so you can get your first dibs at shore things. But I'm really excited because I love being on the water. So kayaking, I'm super excited for. We're doing this in the morning at 10:30. And this is a 4-hour tour in which we're going to go around the harbor, and then we're going to walk around and enjoy some food, and hopefully see a ton of wildlife. All right, so you're getting a gist of what things look like when you're using the website. If you learned something in there, let me know in the comments. And if you're sailing Alaska, I'd love to know when you're going. If you're getting some value, cheers that like button, consider subscribing, and also book your Virgin Voyages cruise with us. We want to make sure you're being taken care of and getting a great deal on your sailing. Let's open up the app because there's a few more things in there that you might not know about. So when I open up the app, I'm able to go to, right now I'm on the home screen, I'm gonna go over to Discover. And when I go over to Discover, I'm gonna be clicking within Shore Things. And this is where you're seeing the app view of that day by day, right? And so let's go to the first port day, which is Ketchikan. And when I click into that, there's a couple things in here that might be helpful for you. One of which is the Alaska guide that they have in here, right? So they have the arriving info and the departing info, but they also below that have the Your Ketchikan Alaska guide. And when you click on that, and I don't know how, tell me in the comments if you use this, but it gives you some information about Ketchikan. And it's, yeah, that could be helpful, especially if you've never been there before. I was there a very long time ago as a child. But then what I actually really care about is all the way at the bottom, there's this additional information in here that's helpful. So it says port emergency contact. And once you're on the cruise, once you're on your voyage, when you're in the elevator and around the ship, they're going to have this information on there. I always take a picture of it just in case it's needed. And the other thing I'm always doing is I'm opening Google Maps so I can see exactly where I'm at, and I'm adding a pin in the map for exactly where I'm located. So for this, for example, I'm going to grab this address that's in here. And do you see how it says berths 1 through 4? That means your parking spot could be right next to each other, or they could be kind of far away. But let's take this address and jump into Google Maps. So I've taken that address, I drop it into Google Maps, and there's a couple things I'm doing. So one is I'm just scrolling around and I'm looking to see, like, right, obviously they're not, this is not where the ship is going to be. It's going to be over here where the Ketchikan cruise ship docks are at. And I'm going to go ahead and just save that. You can see I saved pickleball places, love that. I'm gonna go ahead and save that. And one of the things I like to do is I like to flip it into satellite mode just to look around a little bit. Because when I look at this, I'm like, oh shoot, directly from the cruise port, you can totally walk around. Like there's this little downtown area. And I might click on, like, you know, restaurants or even like coffee or just like things to do that are right there. Because there might be something cool that you can like walk around and see after your excursion or before, depending on what time you're going out at. But that's something that's helpful for me. So my point here is when you're in the app, it's helpful to grab those port addresses that are in there. It's one of the things people ask about a lot, but that's for Ketchikan. And so you can do that same thing for the other days, right? Sitka, you can click on the Alaska guide, and then you can kind of scroll through and see what it has to say. But again, right, like what I care about is this info at the bottom where I'm saving that address into my notes and my Google Maps. This one does not look like one that I would just walk around at. All right, so you've gotten a taste of what it looks like on how I'm planning my Alaska sailing. Super excited for this. And I'm also going to be taking you through in the next video what I'm packing, because what I'm packing for Alaska is not the same thing I pack for the Caribbean. So there are some additional items in there that might be helpful for you. Join me over there, but let's flip to Scarlet Lady, because I had the opportunity to chat with Nirmal, the CEO of Virgin Voyages, about Alaska. So let's get to that. I already know one of the top questions people are going to be asking is around Alaska.
Yeah.
Is there anything, any new information? Because the last time that you and I talked about Alaska in 2026 for Virgin Voyages, there was still a lot of things in the works.
Yeah.
I mean, this was months ago. Is there any new information that you can share about it now?
Well, probably the newest information is we've just released our shore excursions of Alaska, or I should say shore things for Alaska. We've got lots of wonderful experiences. And the thing we did with Alaska is we tried to put our Virgin twist on everything we do, as you know, right? So in Alaska, we've got 3 groups of shore things you can do. You've got your stock standard things that everyone wants to do in Alaska. The whale watching, the salmon, all those great things. And we're offering those, as like most people do, but, you know, hopefully more with small bus tours and more intimate experiences. Because our ships aren't giant ships, as you know.
Correct.
So we can do one of these smaller tours. But I'm really excited about the other 2 categories. So one of them is sort of things with a Virgin twist. So we take what is a traditional Alaska tour and we add our Virgin twist to it. Either an extended stay somewhere, We include drinks sometimes and things, or some of our F&Bs included. But there's always something with a Virgin twist, and I think those are going to be the most popular ones. So if you go check out those on the site, they're probably going to be the most popular, and they've got our classic Virgin twist. And then we've got things that are exclusive to us. You can't get them anywhere else, can't get them through other cruise lines, can't get them through independent operators, where we've curated some incredible one-of-a-kind experiences for people.
Fun.
Those are going to be amazing. So therefore, check those out, because I feel like those are going to be very, very popular. My guess is that most people will buy the Virgin twist ones. But the ones that are truly exclusive to Virgin are really epic. So check them out.
That's very exciting. And I am signed up for several Alaska sailings. So I will be looking through that and sharing back my version of what I think is interesting in those list of shore things. So I'm excited.
Yeah. And look, Alaska with us, obviously, hammock. Can you see the world go by in your hammock? No kids. We're the only no kid ship in Alaska. And let's not underestimate the power of creating a no kid environment on board our ships, right? It creates just an environment where people can feel relaxed, they can feel themselves. And being able to have that kind of an environment in Alaska, I think will be a game changer.
Love it. I hope you got some value out of this video. I'm Christine Lozada. Join us in the Facebook group and join me on my email list. There's helpful info going out all the time that you might not miss. Thanks for joining me in today's video. Join me in the next one. Let's go pack for Alaska. Book your sailing with us, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.